out there that are trying to manage their service parts planning with really systems that are designed for finished goods.
Yeah.
What would you say to those companies?
I would say, well, first of all, if they are using a system designed for finished goods, they're probably struggling. They're probably using spreadsheets. They're doing a lot of manual effort to make sure that the planning is done right. And they're probably investing way too much in inventory because the algorithms developed for finished goods don't result in the right inventory levels. So there's a huge value proposition to transition to a solution like MCA's that was developed for service parts planning. It both makes your planners more productive, but it gives you a better answer. We always show and can develop an exchange curve, which shows the trade-off between inventory and service levels. And we're able to shift that curve and allow companies to both reduce inventory and increase service. And we can actually model that in the upfront sales process and show companies how much inventory they can save. So companies who are using finished goods solutions are unproductive and leaving a lot of money on the table. And there's a huge opportunity for them to shift to a solution focused on the service parts planning market.
So as a follow-up to that, you're talking about the opportunity. When you have done these analysis in the past and you've seen the exact scenario of a company using finished goods planning software, can you give a general estimate as to what a company could expect in terms of percentage reduction in cost, or possibly other benefits related to how they manage their supply chain if they were to use something like MCA?
Yeah, we've seen benefits in a number of areas. The most striking and easiest to measure is inventory reduction. So we've seen inventory reductions of anywhere from 10 to 50% for companies who've implemented our product. There are some companies, a defense organization who's been doing optimization for years, had very sophisticated tools. We were able to improve their planning by 10%, which was significant given they were planning billions of dollars. Other companies who were using spreadsheets, we were able to improve by 50%. Now this reduction isn't immediate. As you know, in service parts are very slow moving. So we can also model how long it takes to burn that inventory down. But we found that the savings the implementations can be as rapid as 2 months, ranging to a few months, and the return often happens within 6 months. So folks who implement this software can see a return on their investment in 6 months and certainly in a year. So inventory reduction is the most tangible. The other impact is on customer service and service levels. So companies have different metrics on measuring customer service for service parts. It could be fill rate, it could be uptime of the equipment, it could be wait time. We can put those metrics into our software and make sure they achieve those metrics at the lowest possible inventory. So a lot of folks are guessing at the service levels they're going to achieve. We can help them achieve it, and that has a big impact on customer service, and they're able to do it much more easily with less planner, basically time wasted chasing parts around to achieve those service levels. So the service level results in long-term increased revenue because they're able to retain customers.
So in your experience over, let's say, the past 8 years at MCA, what can you say about the change in terms of how clients that you talk to realize that there's a difference in terms of the software that's needed for planning supply chain systems related to service parts versus finished goods?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. There was actually early adoption in high tech for service parts planning systems. I think they had a big need for customer service and were more sophisticated. And the tools have evolved for them and are much better. Other industries like aerospace and defense, I think because their problem was so complex, they thought there were no tools out there to solve it. And we were able to solve that problem. And we've seen huge penetration in the aerospace and defense world. We have some of the major OEMs, as well as some of the major folks managing fleets of aircraft. And so we've seen adoption in that market because I think the tools have evolved. So it depends on the market. And as I mentioned, we're entering new industries like oil and gas, who in the past I think were willing to throw inventory against the problem. Now they recognize with the right tools they can reduce that inventory, but also provide higher uptime of their equipment. So I think it varies with industry, but overall we've seen much higher adoption. And it's moved from the innovators to folks who recognize it's a necessary part of doing business.
Tim discusses what I believe is a very important topic for service parts improvement. That is the fact that the majority of service companies out there are still using systems that were never designed to manage all the complexities of service parts. This causes all types of problems, as the assumptions of finished goods planning systems are simply different than those of service systems. As Tim points out, companies doing this are probably struggling, and they are also carrying too much inventory. Inventory savings from 10 to 50% can be expected depending upon the level of sophistication prior to the MCA implementation. And secondly, service levels correspondingly increase at the same time.